हाँ, बस
पब्लिक
फेमस होना
फिगर
है,
बनना
सबको
है।
बस फेमस होना है। आई हैव नो टाइम एंड इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी एंड आई थिंक आई शुड क्विट।
So, hey guys, this is Anjan. Welcome back to FK Talks. Today we have very esteemed guest. She's a classical dancer, member of the International Dance Council UNESCO. She is my professor of behavioral sciences. So, audience, I present to you Dr. Shivanjali. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome.
गुड इवनिंग आनंद।
तो मैम फॉर्मेट कुछ ऐसा है कि हमारा जो पॉडकास्ट है दैट्स फॉर द मासेस बाय द मासेस, ये हमारी टैगलाइन है। विद योर परमिशन कैन वी स्टार्ट?
यस श्योर।
सो पहले आप अपना थोड़ा इंट्रोडक्शन आपके बारे में कुछ ऑडियंस को बताएं।
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Dr. Shivanjali and I have been dancing for a very long time. I started my journey at a very young age of 6 years when I just began to learn very basic dance forms, and then gradually I started learning Kathak at the age of 9. And since then, I have been dancing and I've been practicing Kathak professionally as well. So it has been like 24, 25 years now that I have been practicing the dance form. I've done my master's in Kathak also. Apart from having my training in Kathak under Srimati Ruby Mishra ji and Pandit Jaikishan Maharaj ji, I have also taken training in tabla as well as Indian classical vocal music. And
ओके।
currently, right now, I'm practicing Kathak as well as I'm a performer for a lot of platforms. I've practiced and performed at various national and international platforms, as well as I'm one of the faculties at Amity University, Noida.
ओके मैम। सो जैसा कि जितना हम आपको क्लास में जानते हैं, यू आर वेरी वेरी जॉली एंड आउट गोइंग काइंड ऑफ पर्सन। सो मैम लाइक आप पहले से ऐसे थे बचपन से? एक मैं अपनी स्टोरी बताता हूँ। मैं बचपन में काफ़ी ज़्यादा ऐसा रिजर्व चाइल्ड जो होते हैं, जो बहुत कम बोलते हैं, मैंने अपने टीचर्स से प्रॉपरली इंटरेक्ट करना क्लास 11 12 में आके शुरू करा था। उससे पहले यस मैम, ओके मैम, यस सर, ओके सर, बस उतना ही। तो आप स्टार्टिंग से ऐसे थे मैम?
No, it was not since the beginning. It gradually happened as I learned, as I practiced. लोगों से interact करा, जैसे जैसे उनसे बातें करी, बहुत से लोग बने. Then as the network grew, basically, so I grew with that. A lot of things, like a lot of skills that I have learned with time, a lot of people that I've interacted with who have really motivated me. And the biggest motivation I would say is my mother, who has always been my biggest support. Since the very beginning when I started learning and till date, in every single thing that I've done, I think that is the biggest motivation that helps me do a lot of things. And I think that is what nature has also, imbibed in me through my mother, that she's also like, the way I am. So yeah, but with time, I have changed as a person. It has not been the same since when I
You
was
have
a kid. I
grown as
was
a
one of
person.
those people, yes, who used to, like, you said in 11th and 12th you started interacting with people. So I'm
हाँ।
also like one of those people only. हाँ ठीक है, स्कूल तक बात करते थे, सब करते थे, but एक जो interaction with the masses होता है, that confidence of interacting with people, that only came after a certain age when I actually interacted with people. I met with people, and as my confidence grew interacting with them, that is how it changed. And I think it is normal for everybody, as you grow in your field, as you work in the field, as you know the things, जितना interact करते हैं, जितना सीखते हैं, सिखाते हैं, so it does happens with time.
सो मैम जैसा कि आपने बताया लाइक आप डांस फॉर्म्स एंड आर्ट्स में काफ़ी ज़्यादा कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ में काफ़ी ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व थे। सो व्हाट डू यू फील कि वो कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है एक स्टूडेंट की लाइफ में, कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ और एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर्स होना विद स्टडीज़? आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि स्टडी मत करो, ऐसा मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि पढ़ो मत, बट कितना इंपॉर्टेंस है उसकी एक स्टूडेंट की लाइफ में?
See, as much as academics is important, it's equally important to learn something, not only from the perspective of earning something through that particular activity or through that particular source that you have, but it's also important as it develops a lot of concentration. When you're practicing, say, for example, when you practice a dance form, you have a lot of technical things. So when you start learning that, or say, what we call as tal in our dance, the beats that we have, तो जैसे जैसे हम उस चीज को सीखते हैं, there's a lot of maths in it that we learn. A lot of compositions are there which are very difficult to understand. लेकिन उसकी जैसे जैसे मैथ्स आती है और जैसे जैसे उन चीज़ों को समझ में आता है, सो यू ट्राई टू लर्न, यू ट्राई टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट, कि अगर ये नहीं आ रहा है सम पे तो उसको कैसे लाना है, या कोई म्यूजिक की कॉम्पोजिशन है तो वो कैसे और इम्प्रोवाइज की जा सकती है, कैसे उसको और बेटर बनाया जा सकता है, एक डांस कोरियोग्राफी है, सो हाउ कैन यू नो मेक थिंग्स लुक even more better than what we are doing. I have one idea today, and now I want to just improve on something a little more.
Continuously
So you
challenging
start
yourself.
thinking, what new things can be done? How can I work upon it? How can I do it better?
Hmm.
A competition from your own selves comes. So that is how I think it does helps in a lot of ways. And also it's good for your mental health, your physical health. It keeps you active. It keeps you just working upon something or the other. You're never free कि हाँ कुछ भी नहीं है खाली दिमाग होता है ना. It never happens like that. You have something that goes in your brain. So yeah, it keeps you away from a lot of distractions also.
So मैम, you talked about mental health. So what do you believe कि जो like I personally believe it कि जब से लोगों को masses को जो कॉमन लोग हैं इतना ओपन हुआ है कि मेंटल हेल्थ में इश्यूज होते हैं, कुछ लोगों ने उसका मजाक उड़ाना शुरू कर दिया है. लाइक उनको थोड़ा सा भी दुखी हो जाता है, आई एम डिप्रेस्ड, मैं तो ऐसे हो गया हूँ. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक कि इसको लोग कैसे हम ठीक कर सकते हैं? मतलब लोगों को अवेयर कराना होगा कि डिप्रेशन इज अ डिजीज एंड वो मजाक नहीं है कोई. सो हाउ डू यू थिंक कि हम उसको ठीक कर सकते हैं?
See, depression is something that comes at a very later age. जो starting होता है, that is just the kind of stress that we all experience. A pressure that we have. Some people have the pressure of academics, कुछ को अपनी financial reason से pressure होता है, कुछ लोगों को अपनी family problems का pressure होता है, कुछ को घर का pressure होता है, or some people have peer pressure. A lot of things are there, which is not depression actually. It's just that we don't know how to cope with that stress, and that is what we call as depression. I'm depressed. I'm not able to do things. I'm not able to manage my emotions. I've lost balance in life. That is what people describe as depression at times, which actually is not depression. And also, you said people make fun of those who talk about mental health. It's very important to talk about mental health, to share all of these things. If I say I'm very emotionally disturbed, but I have nobody to share my things, I think that is where you need someone with you. कि हाँ अगर उसको बताई है कोई प्रॉब्लम दैट पर्सन शुड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड यू. We all have problems, and if we don't have somebody with whom we can interact, we can talk to, we can share our emotions, we can share what we are actually feeling, that inner voice that we have. A lot of people are there who are just creating a lot of noise and just disturbing us, but that inner voice is very suppressed at times. We are not able to express that, and that is, I think, what people call as depression. That state people call as depression. But if we work upon that, if we know, this is one person, this is one friend, or this is my brother, my parent, with whom I can share something and they understand our points, I think depression is something that can be cured. We just need somebody to help us in that particular moment. So mental health is something which should not be made fun of, but people should understand that this person needs someone, this person needs to be taken care of, be it mentally, be it emotionally, any kind of support that person wants.
True.
I think that is one way of working on mental health rather than making fun of those.
So मैम, हैव यू स्टडीड साइकोलॉजी और इज इट जस्ट लाइक हॉबी हैबिचुअल नॉलेज कि ऐसा पता होना चाहिए?
I haven't studied psychology. My area of academics has been HR and corporate law. So HR has, a lot of soft skills that we talk about, the trainings that we have. So I've been a soft skills trainer also. So soft skills is one area which keeps me, very much engaged with people, engaged with a lot of things. So I like to, study more. I like to talk about soft skills more. So that's one reason that I teach behavioral science also, rather than
Like
teaching some
we
very
really get
technical
engaged in
subject.
your class. एंड पर्सनली मैं बहुत सीरियसली लेता हूँ मैम की क्लासेस बिकॉज मेरे को वो सब्जेक्ट बहुत अच्छा लगता है. बिहेवियरल साइंस, गेट टू नो योर सेल्फ, अंदर अपने अंदर सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, वो मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगता है. तो उस वजह से मैं काफ़ी ज़्यादा सीरियसली आंसर्स लिखता हूँ अपने असाइनमेंट्स वगैरह के. सो कीपिंग इट आउट ऑफ रिकॉर्ड. मैम, जो हमारी मेन थीम है आज के पॉडकास्ट की, अब मैं उसके बारे में बात करना चाहूँगा, दैट इज़ चूजिंग अनकन्वेंशनल पाथ. जैसा कि आपने बताया, यूर अ डांसर एंड ट्रेन्ड इन आर्ट्स. सो ये भी काफ़ी अनकन्वेंशनल रहा होगा उस टाइम पे. अभी तो फिर भी थोड़ा मेन स्ट्रीम हो गया है, लेकिन काफ़ी अनकन्वेंशनल रहा होगा. तो बताइए कि जो आजकल बच्चे अनकन्वेंशनल पाथ चूज कर रहे हैं, उसमें वो लोग कैसे, मतलब पेरेंट्स कई बार क्या होता है, सपोर्टिव नहीं होते. लाइक आई हैव बीन लकी, मेरे पेरेंट्स बहुत सपोर्टिव थे स्टार्टिंग से. सो कैसे अपने पेरेंट्स को हम मना सकते हैं कि
Okay.
यू नो कि लाइक वी आर डूइंग
See,
समथिंग और कुछ गलत नहीं है इसमें?
arts is something which has always been very unconventional and people don't accept it very easily. If somebody says, I want to be a musician and I don't want to continue with my academics in future and just practice music, or somebody who wants to just practice dance or any art form for that matter, anything which is related to arts or any very much unconventional field, something which is very normal to be accepted by the people or the masses as a whole. I think it's very difficult, first of all, for the parents to understand this that, what my child wants, I need to support that person. Because if I know I can practice this and I can do this well, and my parents are supportive of that. Luckily, I have been one of those who has had a lot of support by my parents, my mother, my father, my brother, everybody in my family, irrespective of what people have said, what they have thought, that this is right, why you are dancing, why you're not dancing, why you are practicing this particular thing. When I started learning also, there were people who used to say, अरे क्या करोगे डांस सीख के, क्या करना है डांस करके, या इसमें क्या बनने वाली है फील्ड में. Those things, everybody listens to that. Everybody has heard of it. Whosoever has practiced any dance form at a very young age, or any form for that matter, not just dance. But yes, any person who wants to take up these fields, they go through this phase where people just tell that, why are you doing this? क्या फायदा होगा इसका? क्या करियर बनेगा? और even you are asked this question कि और क्या काम करते हो? Like, ठीक है, डांस तो
लाइक
है,
करते
but
क्या हो?
what do you do? हाँ, करते क्या हो? Like my brother is into the field of cinema, so he's always asked, अच्छा तुम क्या करते हो? What you are doing in this particular field? क्योंकि पढ़ाई तो ठीक है, सबको पता है, you go to a job, you're doing 9 to 5 job and you come back. But if you're doing something which is different, तो क्या करते हो? That's the biggest question. So it's very difficult for the people to accept first of all, and that is, I think, what makes the parents also take this difficult decision that I need to allow my child to do this, because they are also not very sure, because a lot of struggle is there. If I want to practice an art form, I have to keep going and practicing and doing a lot of things, making connections, networking, performance, investing on myself first of all before I present something. Like, if you make a video also, there is a lot that goes into it. You have to have a particular place, proper costumes, lighting, sound, jewelry, accessories, and number of things are there. You need a lot of time for it. So it's difficult for the parents to, first of all, consider that, okay, my child is going to invest so much on him, but what is going to be the end result? Whether he or she is going to get some work or not, whether he will be able to, have a family which is happy or not in the future. So a lot of questions are there.
इवन पेरेंट्स आर कंसर्न कि भाई टाइम वेस्ट तो नहीं होगा बच्चे का,
हाँ,
क्योंकि
टाइम
उनको
वेस्ट
भी
तो
तो
नहीं होगा.
अल्टीमेटली वही चीज़ चाहिए ना कि बच्चा खुश रहे,
एग्जैक्टली.
सक्सेसफुल रहे.
कि पढ़ तो तुमने लिया है, क्या करोगे उसके आगे? बिकॉज यू हैव अ डिग्री. सो या तुम जॉब करो एंड यू अर्न गुड. You can run a family very well. But then when you practice something which is very different from it, there's a lot of struggle that goes into it. A lot of practice, a lot of patience which is required, a lot of persistence is required. So when all of these things happen, it's difficult to accept. But yes, parents should understand this, that this is one time where there's a huge scope in all of these fields. There is a lot that people can do, a lot that people can explore and also do really well. You take the example of a lot of people who are practicing from our generation also, and they are doing so well, whom you would never even think of that, okay, this is one person who would do so well in the future. But they are earning well, they are living so well. They have their own names going here and there. Even for myself, I would say, there was one time where I never thought of that, dancing is something that would take me so long. I would have so much in this particular field. I never thought when I started. But then, yes, you just need to support that, okay, this is my child or he and she is capable of something, and let me give that person a chance. Nahi hua to koi baat nahi. You always have some other backup. And even I would say the people who practice these forms should always have one backup. Ki, हाँ, ये चीज कर तो रहे हैं, but then yes, I need to have one backup, something which is very much sure that, okay, if this is not working, this is going to work for me. Or if I'm practicing some form,
एटलीस्ट
if
मैं अपना
I'm
खर्चा
not,
निकाल पाऊँ.
हाँ, क्योंकि खर्चा तो निकाल, see, money is everything. You can't have a good
आई
living if you
कांट
don't have
डिनाई
money.
दैट. मनी इज
Everybody can
इम्पोर्टेंट.
relate to it. So you need to have one source of income कि हाँ, अगर ये नहीं चल रहा है, तब तक उसमें invest करना है. And let me work upon myself also. Or just to give yourself some time, you need to have a backup. So yes, even if your parents are saying कि हाँ, ये नहीं करना, so have something with you that, you can practice that and you can invest on yourself, even if your parents don't want you to do it, or they don't have so much to support you also. At times it's not that the parents are not supportive. They just feel that कि हाँ, support करना है तो कैसे? Because money is something you have to invest, which is apart from what they have already invested on you in your academics, in your, personal life. There is a lot of expense. तो वो एक अलग से जो खर्चा होता है, they at times feel कि अगर इतना इन्वेस्ट कर दिया और फिर कुछ नहीं हुआ उसका एंड रिजल्ट, तो क्या होगा? सो यस, ऑलवेज हैव अ बैकअप कि हाँ, उनको भी श्योरिटी रहेगी, ठीक है,
वही तो आई
वो
आई
ये नहीं
बिलीव
कर रहा
कि
है तो.
मनी इज नथिंग व्हेन यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. उससे पहले
एग्जैक्टली.
मनी इज A big
Money is
change.
everything. Normal people, for them,
हाँ,
money is
money
everything.
is everything. True, true, true. So मैम, जैसे कि आप प्रोफेशनल डांसर हैं, सो द वंस हु आर ट्राइंग टू बी अ क्लासिकल प्रोफेशनल डांसर, तो उनके लिए क्या क्या मतलब स्टेप्स हैं, क्या क्या स्टेजेस होते हैं, वो आप एक बार बताएंगे अगर जर्नी को?
Okay, so I'll talk about my journey, the
हम्म,
stages I'll cover in that only. So what happens is, when you start learning, first of all, you have no idea what you were doing, what are these terms, the technical terms when you are told, like, पहले 2-3 साल से you should not even expect of what you are doing. बस आपके जो गुरु बता रहे हैं आपको उसको आप फॉलो करते जाइए. That is the basic of it. हाँ, जो बोला उन्होंने वो हमने किया, हमने अपना रियाज किया, we practice it. And you just do what they are saying. You don't even need to think about it because you're not sure कि हाँ ये चीज सही है गलत है आप नहीं बता सकते. I see a lot of students these days who come to me also, मैम यूट्यूब पे तो ऐसे था आपने ऐसे बताया.
हम्म,
But YouTube is not the right platform, right?
हम्म,
No, you don't have everything over there. What they are telling you is half of the information. उसके आगे की जो चीज़ है वो आपको आपके गुरु ही बता सकते हैं. So whatever they are saying, just practice that, and that is the basic of it. Once you start knowing that this is something, I know the basics are sure that
हम्म,
okay, this is what I'm doing is correct. Then you start doing your own things, practicing small choreographies, creating something which is small, or just trying to learn something which is more difficult, some more difficult compositions, practicing it on your own, and then doing things. I see people also who just start learning and then they're like, मैम ये वाली रील बनानी है या ये वीडियो बनाना है. That is how it. So just
हम्म,
go step by step. Start learning the basics first. Clear your basics. Be sure of your basics, and then practice things on your own. Once you're doing that, and also getting the proper degree and certification, because that is something which is equally important. Like if you're doing something, it's very much important to have a proper degree, a proper certification. Without that, there is nothing. Even if the students who are there who are learning also and they want to do a job in future, you need a degree. Without a degree, you don't have that possibility of doing. I'm a very good dancer, I can say that, but you need something on the
you need
papers
that.
also. That is what is required the most. So yes, do the exams well, practice for the exams also. Don't think that exams are something which you can just clear. So along with your practice, practice properly, clear your exams well, practice for that, learn things, and then gradually move to a professional side where you know that okay, this is something I am very good at. Or when your gurus are there who are telling that okay, now this is the time that you should do something, then practice it, go to the professional level, and I think that is the best stage. But it doesn't take just 1 or 2 years for you to be a professional in any of the fields, any art form, be it music, dance, art, you talk about acting, any field, irrespective of the field. It always requires a lot of practice, a lot of patience, and step by step things. It's just not that today I'm starting and tomorrow I'm at the topmost level. Don't even expect that. Go slowly, learn slowly, practice things as much as you can. Give yourself some time, be patient, and then do things well. I think that is how it goes. And it's for everybody.
सो मैम, लाइक व्हाट आर द वेज जिसमें क्लासिकल डांसर पैसे कमा सकता है? आई रियली डोंट नो अबाउट एनीथिंग अबाउट इट, सो कैन यू प्लीज एजुकेट मी ऑन दिस कि एक क्लासिकल डांसर किस किस फील्ड से, किस किस लाइक तरीके से पैसे कमा सकता है अपने आर्ट को यूज करके?
Okay, so if we talk about earning being a classical dancer, the basic is that you can start teaching the students, you can interact with them, you can have workshops, you can have training sessions, you can have corporate sessions, you can perform at various platforms, the national platforms, international platforms, you have television these days, you have online sources also where you teach people through the online platform, you have the entire industry where you have background dancers or the lead dancers. A lot of possibilities are there, where you can just go into and practice this form.
So ma'am, talking about online, have you ever thought about taking it online, your art, like starting a YouTube channel or something like Reels? So,
Okay, so yeah, I did start my YouTube channel back in 2016, wherein
16.
2016, yes, wherein I don't post content very often, but yes, I do post.
Okay, so ma'am, if you
So
can
yeah,
name a
I
name,
do
I'll put
have
it in the
a
description.
YouTube channel.
You can plug in. You can plug in.
That's with my name only. That's just Shivanjali.
शिवांजलि. ओके मैम, मैं उसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दूंगा. गो सब्सक्राइब टू अ चैनल एंड मैम अब कंसिस्टेंट होंगी, आई होप.
Yeah,
सो
hopefully.
मैम, इज इट हेक्टिक लाइक एक वीडियो शूट करना, बिकॉज यू नीड प्रॉपर स्टूडियो फॉर डांस? मेरा क्या, मैं रूम में बैठकर शूट कर सकता हूँ, यू नीड प्रॉपर स्टूडियो फॉर डांस. तो उसके लिए आपने अपने घर पे कुछ स्टूडियो बनाया या फिर यू हैव टू रेंट अ स्टूडियो फॉर इट?
Okay, so I have my academy. So it was started by my mother while we were studying. So we didn't have so much time to, start up something. But yes, she always believed that me and my brother can do wonders if we have a platform to do something. So yeah, she started the academy with the name of Prati Academy of Art and Culture, where I also teach dance and we have our studio there. So that is where I make my videos, create things.
ओह
So yeah, that
नाइस।
is one expense which I don't
तो
have of,
आपकी एकेडमी है
hiring
कहाँ
the
पर?
studio. It's in Indrapuram.
इंदिरापुरम गाजियाबाद।
Yeah.
ओके 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 ओके। सो आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द इंटरनेट, जो आजकल हम लोग देख रहे हैं, अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स और आई वुड से टीनेजर्स इंक्लूडिंग मी, हम लोग कंटेंट क्रिएशन की तरफ ज़्यादा ध्यान दे रहे हैं, या फिर आई वुड से अपने अपनी ब्रांड्स बनाने की तरफ ज़्यादा ध्यान दे रहे हैं। लाइक वी आर क्रिएटिंग अ ब्रांड फॉर आवर सेल्व्स कि मैं ये ब्रांड हूँ, मैं ये ब्रांड हूँ। सो हाउ इम्पॉर्टेंट इज इट टू लाइक सक्सीड इन दिस एरा by making your own brand rather than working 9 to 5? I'm not against 9 to 5, it's just my opinion कि मेरे लिए वो बेटर है। मैं अपना एक ब्रांड बनाकर मैं उससे पैसे कमाना ज़्यादा पसंद करूंगा rather than working 9 to 5. So what do you think कि is it a transition जो अब आ रहा है मेंटालिटी में, या फिर ये नॉर्मल है हर जनरेशन के साथ कि कुछ ना कुछ ट्रांजिशन आता है?
See, this transition has always been there, that I want to do something of my own. It has not been only the present generation, but yes, there's a difference between the present generation and the previous generations that I would say. If I talk about, one generation that is above mine. So I think that was the generation who thought, by the age of 35, you are settled and now you can think of that, okay, by that time, this is something I want to do. You planned everything and then you started something of yourself. Not even 35, 30 to 35 was the age where they thought, I have worked, I have settled down, or now I'm sure, okay, this is something I'm going to work upon. I have a lot of resource, I have proper planning, I have proper finances, I've done a lot of research, and then you start working upon it. But if I talk about today's generation, so they have this mentality, that if I'm 20, this is the time, I should be independent, I have to earn, I have to do this. And a lot of things, they have their own thoughts in their mind that by the age of 20 or 25, 25 is way too much. 22 or 23 is the age I should be settled and I need to have lakhs in my account and do and what not, be famous, and everybody should know me, whatever I'm doing, I should be at the best of it. So
मतलब
yes,
ये
that is
एक
one
इकलौता
difference.
एड्रेनल रश है हमारे लिए, एड्रेनलिन रश है कि बस फेमस होना है,
हाँ,
बस
बस
पब्लिक
फेमस होना
फिगर
है,
बनना
सबको बस फेमस होना है, फिर चाहे कैसा भी कंटेंट बनाए, कुछ भी करें, बस फेमस होना है हमें. सो दिस इज वन डिफरेंस, which I have seen in the people in the previous ages and the current generation. There was much more planning which was there, which I think is missing in today's generation. उन्हें ये पता है कि उन्हें ये करना है, लेकिन कैसे करना है, कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करना है, किस तरह से अप्रोच करना है, क्या नेटवर्किंग चाहिए. So they miss out on that. Networking is something which I feel is very important. पहले क्या था, लोग नेटवर्किंग पे फोकस करते थे, वो अपने कॉन्टैक्ट्स बनाते थे, चीजें प्लान आउट करते थे और फिर एग्जीक्यूट करते थे. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज द टाइम व्हेन पीपल वर मच मोर सक्सेसफुल देन व्हाट टुडेज किड्स आर. दे आर जस्ट रनिंग बिहाइंड. कहते हैं ना, वो भेड़ की चाल होती है, बस सब भाग रहे हैं, इसने एक कर लिया तो अब मुझे भी वही करना है.
अमेरिकन
एवरीबडी इज डूइंग दैट, सो नोबडी इज
वी कॉल
सक्सेसफुल इन दैट
मेट्रो रेस्टा
केस.
इन हिंदी।
हाँ, बस उनको करना है, जो सब कर रहे हैं मुझे भी करना है और फेमस होना है बस. सो दैट इज समथिंग which is wrong. Like, I say in class also that understand yourself, what you want to do, what are your good sides, what are your bad sides, what are your flaws, and then work upon those things and try to find what is unique about you. Work upon that uniqueness. When you're creating the content, it should be unique enough that people like it, people watch it and appreciate it, rather than, what the other person is doing, just copy that and try to be famous. People even copy the choreographies and they're like, no, this is something which is my own content. And they want to be famous with that choreography. And when somebody comments, they feel bad about it. So yes, try to find what is unique about you. What is that best quality? That if you present, this is my USP, and if I work on this, I think I can be famous with that. Find that out and then do something. I think that would be better than just focusing on.
रनिंग रन। ओके ओके ओके। सो मैम, जो लॉकडाउन आया था, आई बिलीव लॉकडाउन इज द टाइम जब इंटरनेट और सोशल मीडिया सबकी ज़िंदगी में इतना गहरा घर बना चुका है कि उसके बाद से वो निकला नहीं है। सो व्हाट इज़ योर एडवाइस टू दोज पीपल जो सोशल मीडिया केवल चलाने के लिए चला रहे हैं, लाइक टाइम वेस्ट करने के लिए, जस्ट स्क्रोलिंग डाउन स्क्रोलिंग डाउन? जैसे आपने देखा होगा क्लासेस में अपनी, बहुत बच्चे होते हैं जो जस्ट लाइक चलाते रहते हैं, स्क्रोल करते रहते हैं, कुछ नहीं है उसमें, बट देर जस्ट जस्ट स्क्रोलिंग। So what is your advice to them?
Okay, so there are one kind of people who actually know why they are scrolling internet, and there's the second kind, like you said, who are just scrolling. They have no idea why they are even scrolling. उनके पास कोई काम नहीं, just having that phone, and they keep on scrolling for no reason. They don't even know what do they want to watch on internet. It's just that कुछ entertainment चाहिए उन्हें, so time pass करना है, because there's nothing else that they have in their mind. And there are the second kind of people who know, I'm watching internet for this particular reason. I want to learn something. I want to develop a skill for which I'm watching internet. For them, it is good enough. That if you're spending time on internet, you are sure of it. That this is some video which can help me, or I can learn some new skill with it. I can learn some new quality with it. I can do something which is better than what I'm doing at the present moment. If I watch this person, if I'm listening to somebody, what that person is saying is beneficial to me, rather than just listening to something which is of no use, or just watching memes on internet, or just scrolling the reels. That's of no use. That's where I say practice some art form. At least you have something in your mind to think of. I have no time to sit and just scroll the internet. If I have my phone in my hand, I will either watch something which is actually going to be beneficial for me, or if I want to learn something, then I open the YouTube and I'm like, "ठीक, हाँ, yes, ये search करिए," because I need to have this idea कि क्या है, क्या करना चाहिए. Just taking an idea of it, or if I just want to learn some quality or some any specific kind of thing, or this particular composition that I have seen somewhere, and I want to practice. Okay, this person has done this and it is there on the internet. Let me watch and learn something new out of it. So that is how I'm spending my time. So that is the difference between the people who are actually doing for some good purpose and some people who are just scrolling. So practice some art form, or even not an art form, just practice anything that you like about, in life, be it something related to your academics, something which is a skill that you want to learn, some quality that you want to develop, or if you just want to groom yourself. So where do you want to groom? What do you want to groom in yourself? Something about your personality, maybe anything. It's not just an art form that you can learn over internet. It's everything. Internet is huge, and like you said, in the COVID times, I think every person, every artist, every speaker came on the social media to present themselves, to promote themselves. That was the biggest stage that people had. And even in today's times, that is the biggest stage that people have. I also have created one platform which is called as Tarangini, where I promote the artists through the online platform who don't have a platform where they can go and perform and show their talent. So that is when during the lockdowns only I created this particular thing, and that actually helped. By now I think we had some 60 or 70 artists on our platform who have performed, and we have interacted with them. So yes,
So
social
is it a
media is
short video platform or like a management agency? What's your platform?
this platform is about the art forms and the artists, promoting any sort of art form for that matter, be it music, be it dance, be it an art, any form that you have. So we get artists on our platform who are given a chance to perform on the platform. And yes, that is one thing, that was the smallest thing we thought that we can do for them. But now I feel that this platform should be taken to an even bigger stage, where people get the opportunity, because in today's time what I see is that people are not just given the opportunity to perform, they are also asked for money for that. So that is something which I feel is very wrong. If I am given a chance, I should not be asked for money, at least. And if you're not paying, but you should not ask me to pay you something else. Or you should even just give a basic compensation for the performance that you're asking for. So yes, we try not to promote the artist through a platform where we have to ask for money, though it's a small platform right now. So how do you get access is, we have events, we organize events throughout the year. They are small events, so we pick up certain artists and children and people who don't have a lot of access to the different platforms, or who are learners, who just want to present their talent, who don't get a lot of chances at the bigger platforms. So yes, we try to give them a chance to just showcase their talent on one platform, so that they can reach the masses also. A lot of them have even got opportunities through our platform also. Some people have seen them and they're like, I want this person to perform, or I want this person on my platform. So yes.
What are the top three things you would say are normal, but people think कि सिर्फ मेरे साथ हो रहा है? Like something I would say, एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ कि जैसे मेरे को लगता है कि मैंने बहुत टाइम किसी चीज़ पे दे दिया है, बट आई एम स्टिल नॉट गेटिंग द रिजल्ट. बट द ट्रूथ इज कि सब लोग उस चीज़ पे उससे भी ज़्यादा टाइम दे रहे हैं, तो इसलिए उनको रिजल्ट्स मिल रहे हैं. सो व्हाट आर द टॉप थ्री नॉर्मल थिंग्स जो कि लोगों को लगता है कि सिर्फ मेरे साथ हो रहा है?
Okay, so first is having a lot of problems in life. Everybody has those problems. I'm not the only one who's going through, every problem in life. It's with everybody. Some people show that, some people don't show that. But yes, everybody has a lot of problems. So yes, take it normal. You have your problems. Give time to yourself. Second thing is not being able to manage time. We all struggle with that. We have a lot of things to do. We have a lot of tasks to do. But then, yes, we need to learn to manage time. It's not impossible to learn time management, but it's very important to learn how to manage time. So don't think that, if you are not able to manage it right now, you can't just do it in the future also. If you practice it, you give time to yourself, be slow with it. I think you can do that. But don't think, कि मुझसे तो होगा ही नहीं. And the third thing I would say is that, when you are doing something, just don't feel that, I can't do this. It's not a feeling that I can't do this. It's normal with everybody. When you are starting with something new, you are starting with a new skill, a new practice. It's always difficult. You need patience. You need to give time to yourself. So don't think at the very beginning that, I can't do this. I also have students who I have heard saying, ma'am, it's very difficult for me and I think I should quit. This is something which is not made for me. So yeah, that should not happen. If you have started with something, give time to yourself. It always takes time. When I started learning, I think even after learning for 10 years or 15 years, I was not sure of, whether I'm actually good at it or not. So you never have that confidence that I am the best, and you should not have that confidence. But yes, give time to yourself, learn and practice as much as you can. So I think these are the three things which are very important.
थैंक यू मैम लाइक मैंने बहुत सीखा आपसे जो आपने अभी बोला एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम आपने टाइम निकाला एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर बीइंग ऑन एफ की टॉक्स एंड आई होप आप आगे भी आएंगे सो थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम एनी क्लोजिंग मैसेज टू द ऑडियंस
Well, I think I've already said a lot, but yes, for those who are listening to this, be patient, be confident about what you are doing, practice what you are doing, and never, have that feeling that I want to quit something. Give time to yourself, give time to your art, give time to, everything that you're doing in life. Learn to manage time, learn to, have a good network with people, talk to people, interact with them. And I think one more important thing that I would say is, if the kids are not watching and the people of other age groups are watching, age is something which is just a number. It's not just to say that age is just a number, but yes, age is definitely just a number. If you want to do something, I teach students who are 60 plus also, 60, 65-year old ladies and people out there who are learning the art form. So I think it's not impossible for anybody. If you have not started at a young age, don't feel you can't start today. And today is the only day when you can start. Any day that you feel that this is the day I want to start learning and have that confidence, I can do it. And you just practice that. I think everybody can do it and not just the kids.
थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग ऑन द एफ की टॉक्स
Thank you so much, Anand, for having me.